Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.
Hello everyone. Today we have with us Ms. Sheetal Bhardwaj, a seasoned risk and compliance professional with expertise in managing and leading teams for running successful compliance processes. She has over 2 decades of professional work experience in banking and financial services and presently working with one of the big 4 banks of New Zealand in the FCR assurance function. Sheetal has also been shortlisted by C5's Women in Compliance Awards under Chief Compliance Officer of the Year 2019, Small Medium Sized Company category, and Compliance Innovator of the Year by Middle East Legal Awards 2019. She is also one of the shortlist of the Women in Governance, Risk and Compliance Awards as the Head of Financial Crimes 2023. One of the 20, well, also she's also one of the top 20 most influential professionals on LinkedIn in the world of AML today. She is a certified anti-money laundering specialist, certified fraud examiner, certified global sanctions specialist, certified crypto investigator, certified compliance officer, along with certification in compliance and AML from CISI UK and ICA Manchester Business School. So welcome to this interview, ma'am, and we hope you have a good time with us.
Thank you for inviting me, Tanvi. Uh, you know, we choose career sometimes, and sometimes the career chooses you, and that's what I feel at this age and stage of my life. Uh, After I was a science student. I was just planning to become a professor or something like that, and I just got influenced with my boyfriend then, who is my husband now. He's a banker, and I never studied the finance or commerce kind of a thing, but somehow I just got influenced and wanted to get into this kind of a field and got into MBA and chose to do finance. So I was just like a youth who was clueless, completely, had no life objective. Started my career with HSBC Bank as a management trainee soon after doing my MBA, and then obviously exploring foot forward. Uh, but I believe that I was always a very inquisitive person. I never rested for whatever an explanation given to me unless I am settled with that explanation. So I think that was something which was pricking in me, to investigate, to know the truth. And I think that is something which aligned with my own personality. And I always say is I'm a compliance officer by choice, not by an accident. So when I joined as a management trainee, I did the branch banking, I did credit underwriting, but I think that is something wherein I got introduced into compliance and risk and forensic. I grew an interest. And I moved to Dubai very young. Dubai has been my home for almost been 18 years. If you minus 3 years wherein I lived in New Zealand, I'm again back in Dubai. I think I've only done compliance all through my life. And Dubai, as you know, is a hub of cash economy, and the regulator is developing. And being the country which is in the grey list of the FATF right now, there is so much happened. So when I say like this, I think I started my career early into compliance, and initially it was just an interest, and then it becomes my passion. And that's why I say I'm a financial crime fighter or an evangelist, because I see this country growing. When I moved to New Zealand, I used to tell them that you write a lot of things, you're good people. And I deal with a lot of nationalities. People are coming from Egypt, people are coming from Europe, coming from Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Syria, where not. So this is a country which has given me an exposure to deal with a lot of nationalities, a lot of documentation, their typologies and all this stuff. So again, going back to your question, life happens.
Yeah.
I started experiencing it. I've seen the country growing. I've seen the regulator growing. I've seen the real estate regulator coming in play, insurance regulator coming in play. And I think I have a career of almost 2 decades now. So experimented different employer, different segments, different supervisors. uh, I think it just went in a flow, and I chose this, and I still stand by it because I love doing it. And you should never pick up something which you don't enjoy. So when I go back to bed, I feel I have actually contributed to the economy, to the industry, to the employer. I enjoy it. So when I rest up, I feel that a day well spent. So you always follow what you enjoy doing. So I think I'm following what my passion is. Okay, so Tanmay, I think you know that when we started doing computers, we used to have a big desktop. Now
Hmm.
the computer size is getting squeezed. When I was doing my MBA, I had my first phone as a Nokia, which was a very big phone. Right
Yeah.
now, the smaller size phones are coming, and we are choosing bigger screen because we want to use the social media and everything. Now, to answer back to your question, there is no standard day of a compliance officer or a regulatory compliance professional because the industry is so evolving. What was there 5 years back, what was there 10 years back, it is not the status quo anymore.
Hmm.
Because as we are developing, all these criminals are also developing.
Yeah.
COVID has also come up with its own effects. You know that they
Yeah.
have started exploiting this COVID thing. There are a lot of companies which was forced and had no business continuity plan or a disaster recovery plan, and everybody has gone in a work from home kind of an environment. So this is something which is very evolving. So if you ask me what my day looks like, uh, we can have a fixed job description, but we can never have a fixed day. So largely, if you ask me, it's like, reading what the new regulations are,
Yeah.
how it's gonna impact your kind of a business, what are the changes which the regulator is asking for, if there is any new kind of a consultation paper wherein the regulator is asking you to opine on. That's something what we do. Obviously, we see the transactions, all these, the white collar crimes, and reporting it to the regulators, attending the regulatory seminars, and managing the relationship with the regulator. I think
Hmm.
largely that's primarily I talk about, and then obviously doing the staff training so that they know what are the do's and don'ts, listening with everybody wherein they need require any kind of an
Hmm.
advisory, supporting the business to do the right business on time, because your job is a personal liability job, and you
Yeah.
are somewhere in between where you're managing the regulatory relationship and you're also managing the business. So it's a very responsible job, and hence I say it's not one size fits all. And if you see the bigger companies, they have the specialist. Smaller company, maybe a small company might have one compliance officer with 2 3 people. So it varies where you're sitting right now,
Hmm.
but largely that's the life of a compliance officer, like that you have to manage and strike a balance between the regulatory expectation and the business deliverables. Depends which profile you are sitting on right now, but I think no matter what your hierarchy in your organization is, if I just name a few, first thing, being
Hmm.
a compliance officer, what I give a strong emphasis is the leadership. I believe that leadership is more about doing the right thing than just doing things right.
Hmm.
Is the tone of the top which decide the mood of the management. I
Yeah.
take accountability of being one of those who are responsible for setting the tone of the internal compliance along with the senior management. So leadership is something which comes within,
Hmm.
and you need to have that kind of a thing. You need to have an assertive voice and an aggressive voice, and that's where you are setting up the tone.
Yeah.
And I believe business acumen is also one of the very important thing, because you need to be a business enabler. Business
Hmm.
wants to do business, right? They are there. You are basically, if I mean, I could be crude saying that, but yes, compliance is a cost center.
Hmm.
So you need to support the business. They are coming up to you with the problems, or with maybe a new product. You have to tell them how to drive it. So you need to have that kind of an appetite wherein you understand the business requirement and give them the solution to do the right business. Most importantly, you should not be I, me, myself person. You should
Yeah.
be a team player. And integrity, that is something which is very, very important. And as I said, you need to have some kind of a technological advancement and analytical ability. I think that is something which is very, very important.
Hmm.
Intellectual curiosity and understanding of the laws and regulation, not only limited to your country, also about what's happening in the international markets. Okay, so two things. I think it's something to do with me as an individual. I'm always hungry. I'm
Okay.
always not settled with what I have. And education is something which is very, very important. That's something which I was been built, because being born in a middle class family,
Hmm.
you have been always being told education, education, education.
Yeah.
So I think that is very important. Second thing, these days, what I'm seeing is the regulator or the supervisor is also emphasizing a lot. The
Okay.
person, compliance is a very specialist role. So these kind of certification, Couple of times I've seen wherein the regulator is also seeing these things on your CV.
Hmm.
But if you ask me why I did it because I think I had a hunger. I wanted to learn. I
Hmm.
wanted to be a specialist, and these things do help you in terms of your own career enhancement. Because we have something called as CPD, which is your continuous, professional development plan. So I always plan these things in a year,
Hmm.
how many certification I want to do. So these things does help. So all the youngsters who are listening to this, I think this is something which is going to put your foot on the ground when you come up with your educational qualification
Yeah.
and your professional certification. So these things do add up and put you above the curve. So, and as I said, this is something which is also very much endorsed by the regulators also. I've got young kids, and I always say there is nothing called as mistake. A
Hmm.
mistake is your stepping stone for you to learn something better, or maybe try again
Hmm.
and try better and try harder. So I have done my share of mistake, and that's what I tell it to my kids also. Do your share of mistakes. That's
Okay.
make you the person who you are. So I will not use this word called mistake. I would rather say it's an experience.
Hmm.
I have done my share of mistakes. So we do it. The thing is this: how we own it and how we embrace it and how we move forward.
Okay.
Uh, my only two senses, there is no one size fits all formula. We experiment, we learn. Try to absorb. When you are in the beginning of your career, try to do everything. Try to
Okay.
do everything. At the same time, don't just become a journalist. Try to be specialist. Learn everything. Just don't leave it halfway. If
Okay.
you're learning a transaction monitoring, learn everything from the front end to the back end. If you're learning advisory, please absorb the whole rule book. So that is something a specialist is always better, because that's make you, I wouldn't say indispensable, but that
Hmm.
actually makes you little more valuable. But at the end of the day, as I said, there is nothing called as mistake. Learn, have a mentor that will
Okay.
always help you. A
Okay.
good boss take you places. I've seen a lot of my friends, my peer group. There is a boss who was your mentor, and as they keep on moving, I'm not saying that's the right thing to
Hmm.
do, but they keep on. There is a rapport which has got developed, and also you have a go-to person who you
Yeah.
look up to. I have my own mentors. When I am kind of little lost in my career, I always go to that person. So have somebody who can coach you. Have a mentor that will also help you, and make your share of mistake. There is no shame in accepting it. Learn from it and keep going on. Do not plan a lot of things. Just have a life plan of 5 years where you want to see, and keep ticking it off.
Hmm.
Once you achieve it, then have a bigger purpose of your life. I think that's how the life works. Okay, so I always say have a plan A, plan B, and plan C.
Okay.
If plan A fails, you have a plan B. So
Hmm.
do it like that. If this does not work out well, like if you ask me, I started my career as a credit underwriter, and
Hmm.
I didn't like it because I realized I cannot do an operational job. I can't glue to a desk.
Yeah.
Choose, experiment what you like. So again, going back to, you might try something which you're always aspiring to be, and then once you have it, you might not like it. Experiment. I think that is something very, very important for you. And if it doesn't work out well, have
Yeah.
a plan B ready. So
Okay.
choose what career options do you want. Like, this is what I keep telling it to my kid. If you cannot be a doctor, what is the other career alternative do you have? When I plan my finances, if one thing fails, what is my other plan, options? Create those options. And as I said, there is nothing, life it doesn't come with a manual. You will make your mistake, you will fail. That's definitely going to happen. Not everybody is going to like you at your workplace as well. Do not get bogged down with that. Only thing which I've learned in my 2 decades of career is keep walking, keep moving. Whether you
Hmm.
scroll, whether you slog, whether you run, whether you walk, do not stop.
Yes.
You will make mistake. You might get redundant. You might get fired, uh, or you might even get promoted.
Hmm.
It is just a job. Do not let it affect your health. Your health and your family is the utmost.
Hmm.
Jobs comes along. I think that is something which I can tell you at this stage of my career now.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
used to get really affected, but I think try to make a balance and
Hmm.
keep learning the new technologies, new career, programs which is available in the market. Like, we're learning about the machine learning these days.
Yes, ma'am.
So these things are important. Keeps you a kind of a niche in the market.
Hmm.
So I think that's very important that you make yourself scalable.
Hmm.
Okay, do not be stale. So what people are doing today and what people were doing 10 years back and what people will be doing 10 years from now will be different.
Will be
So
different.
you have to be flexible. If you
Hmm.
become reluctant and if you say this is how I work, no, it's not gonna be like that. So now people are talking about the flexible working. People are talking about the remote working. So it's no longer 9 to 5 kind of an environment.
Hmm.
So become flexible, learn the tricks of the business. I think one more thing I would like to say is articulation. There are a
Hmm.
lot of things which we know.
Right.
How we present in project is also very, very important. What I know is within me.
Hmm.
Unless I demonstrate what I know and unless I'm able to market and sell myself, nobody knows that what I'm good at. So that is something I suggest every youngster has to work on.
Hmm.
One thing is you are doing. Second thing
Yeah.
is how you're marketing yourself. That is also very, very important. Uh, the last bit of myself from my side is make a brand of yourself.
Yeah.
Your personal branding, what people think about you. The moment you talk about Sheetal, what is the first thing which comes to your mind?
Hmm.
So your first impression lasts long. So these kind of important things, not only limited to a compliance officer, when you do your management courses, they always talk about your personal branding.
Yeah.
So that also goes with your persona, also as a regulatory compliance officer, so
Hmm.
that people should respect you, they listen to you.
Yeah.
Because unless you have a strong brand for yourself, business won't also listen to you. So, have that personal branding, very, very important. Many, many. But these days, I think what I'm what I'm seeing around, people are putting uh, their health at the backseat and other things in the fast-paced life, putting it on the topmost. I think it's not helping out.
Okay.
So the quotation which I live my life by is be kind always. For everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. So be
Hmm.
kind. Kindness costs you nothing. You don't know. I mean, you see social media, people have smiling faces. What kind of a battle they're undergoing through, don't know. Be a
Hmm.
good human. I think that is something I always teach to my children. Uh, I think that is very, very important. The world is struggling, so let's be good humans.
Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss a video from us.